which is an international multi-stage tech VC firm, but he also co-founded 10 companies, several of which were gigantic successes, sold for hundreds of millions of dollars to companies like Intel. You're no longer doing this GAID thing, right?
No.
But you were heading, sit down if you want, or you can stay if you want to stand up, but the Global Alliance for Information and Communications Technologies and Development, which was a UN project that he co-chaired, which was a big multi-year project. He also founded something called Relief International Schools Online, which is a humanitarian organization that provides emergency relief, rehabilitation, development assistance, and program services all over the world, and to date it's assisted 6,400 schools in over 36 countries, which is just background for a project he's now undertaking, which is way more ambitious than anything he's ever done before, which I think he should just start by explaining right off the bat, and then I'm going to ask him some questions about. Can I just let you do that?
Sure. Good morning. It's my great pleasure to be here. So, we all have seen the drop of price of oil, and we are very happy that the coal is gone and the alternative energy is coming up, and we are saving, hopefully, our planet. So those are all wonderful things, and I'm celebrating that. One key issue that we need to keep in mind is there are a large number of countries that are affected by the drop of price of oil, and their economies has had significant reliance on oil and gas, and the total number of these countries is about 45. 38 of them are in Africa, Middle East, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia, and 32 of them have this amazing overlap with Muslim majority countries. Now you might say, what's the importance of that? Why should we care? It's so far out there, and why should that bother us? Well, one key thing I want to mention is if you are in an Islamic country, if you don't have a job, the father of your future wife will not approve your marriage. And that's a very key issue, because all of these countries have significant number of young population, and the rate of unemployment already is above 25%, in some of them above 50% for the youth. Now, if you don't have a job and you don't have a wife, there is another very important one. If you are in a religious country, if you are in one of these Muslim majority countries, no wife, no sex. Now,
the room went silent, but keep going.
Imagine a young man, no job, no wife, no sex, no hope. And about 20 organizations have figured this out. We only hear about ISIS. There is Al-Qaeda in Peninsula, Al-Shabaab, Jamaat Islamiyah, Nusra Front, Boko Haram. They target the youth in these countries, and they say, you don't have a job, you have no hope, your country is run by a dictator, it's a horrible place. We love you, we give you training, come and work for us. And you want a wife, we give you a wife. We have all these women who love to go and marry a jihadist. You don't want a wife, we kidnap a young girl from another country, another religion, and give it to you as a sex slave. Now, if you look at the list of these countries, if you want to be really scared, go on Google search and do a simple thing on global terrorist activities. On Wikipedia, it is covered month by month, the number of terrorist activities all over the world. Majority of them are in these countries. And it used to be about 25 per month. Wikipedia has all of the records there. This year has gone up over 50 per month. And sooner or later it's going to come and affect all of us. If you think Syria is bad, ISIS is bad, imagine that number magnified by 10 or 20. Now, what is the solution? Obviously, fossil-based economy is bad, it's wrong. Innovation economy is great. You don't need natural resources. They have lots of young people, lots of young people. Yesterday, with Mark Zuckerberg, he talked about this trip to Nigeria. I went there, 10,000 young people who wanted to be entrepreneurs came and visited and wanted to learn. I go to Saudi Arabia, I go to Kuwait, to Qatar, everywhere I go, to Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, young people. And they see that if they learn how to use their brains and use the power of broadband and the lean startups methodology, they can create jobs without the blessing of their leaders. And this is a very key thing. We have never, ever had in the evolution of our species a situation that young people, boys and girls, can use their brains and use the broadband to go and create wealth by disrupting the incumbents, which are typically dictator, political, religious, business. Incumbents are all monopolists in those segments. And they can go and disrupt it and create new jobs. So we have put a coalition. The name of the project is BIT Amina. Amina is Asia, Middle East, North Africa. BIT is Berkeley iTechpreneurship. iTechpreneurship is high-tech entrepreneurship leveraged by broadband. Our goal is to build innovation ecosystems that can create 10 million innovation jobs in the next 10 years. And our partners are...
Specifically in these countries that you're talking about.
Specifically in those countries. Our partners are UC Berkeley, House School of Business, where BIT Amina Center is located, Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies, 500 startups, where I've had the pleasure of working with them, and we'll talk about it more, and Unreasonable Institute from University of Colorado Boulder, where it started. And if it sounds like crazy to create 10 million jobs, we have 5 stages on creation of a company. I created 10 of them, as David mentioned to you. First, you need inspiration. We are working on creating short videos that will inspire 50 million young people. My assumption is many of them will not do anything about it, but if 1 million of them, 2%, go and say, hey, maybe this makes sense, they start to develop an idea. We all know that within the first year, majority of companies, 50% of them fail. So we end up with 500,000 startups that have got some ideas, created some business. If we create a mechanism to give them small sum of money, $5K, $10,000, then again, half of them would fail. Bring the 250,000, create situations that we can put them through accelerators, through programs, build the connections for them, and give them some serious money. And again, I assume majority of them would fail, but if we can end up with 100,000 companies, each one of them on average having 100 people working for them, that's how you get your 10 million. I know it's ambitious. It's the biggest project I've ever done. David knows, some of you who know me, I've never done anything that was easy or simple. The 3 multi-billion-dollar IPOs I had when I was an entrepreneur, every single one of them was crazy day one. But Cirrus Logic, Neomagic, Centillium Communication, go and check it out. All of them were amazing multi-billion-dollar IPOs. I'm an old man, from the 80s and 90s. I guess my last IPO was in 2000. So anyway, if you are interested, come and join me, and I will be more than happy to talk to Dave. And
So this is a 10-year idea,
Yes.
right? Okay. Talk about the reception you've gotten when you've gone to these countries, which I know you've been doing methodically and relentlessly, and it really is incredible how much energy he's putting into this project. What is the reaction? I mean, you said what happened in Nigeria. Have similar things happened in these other countries?
of course, I was in Saudi Arabia about a month ago, and I had so many other countries before it and after it that I only had 2 days. And in the morning that I arrived in Riyadh, I told some of the local entrepreneurs that I found through LinkedIn that I'm coming in town, and sorry I didn't have a chance to let you know. If you want, I would be happy to talk to your entrepreneurs. So many of them responded and said, come to our incubator, to our accelerator, we would love to host you. They negotiated between themselves. I went to one of them, and about 60 or 70 high-tech companies, just within 1 day, half a day notice, it's actually in the morning.
They all came to the one place.
They all came to one place, and I was there till midnight, and I had a flight next morning to go to Dhahran, where Aramco is, to talk. As you know, Saudi Arabia has got a new prince who is very much interested to move away from fossil-based economy, and that they have actually announced creation of a $100 billion fund with SoftBank to go and invest in a number of new initiatives. But the way the government is going is looking at it more the way government of Norway has been doing it, which I've been there talking with them and advising them in the past. It's more on speculation and making money off of their treasury rather than using that money to create jobs. But it seems like they're learning to move towards this.
You mean putting the sovereign wealth money into the actual country's economy?
Yes,
Instead
that's what
of
they
investing
need to
it in
do.
Apple or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what they need to do. But it's a process that's going to take time. To credit of Mohammed ibn Salman, the prince, he was here. He came and met with some of the key leaders of technology, and he said the right kinds of things. We just need to see where even a fraction of that 100 billion is put into incubators, accelerators, creating jobs would be great. UAE, I was in Dubai. It was unbelievable. They have always had these amazing gatherings. Whenever I go there, hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs come. And this time they approached me and they said the Dubai government, which is the municipal one, they said that we would like to arrange for you come here for 2 days, which I'm going in a couple of weeks. And we want to have 5 different municipalities to meet with you because we want to make Dubai be a smart city and creator of jobs.
Okay.
And if you have been in Dubai, you know that that's the most unfriendly place to pedestrians, and it's horrible. You see a building, you cannot go there, everything is by driving. But they're recognizing they need to do something, and they need the brain of young people to go and do this. I can tell you the same stories on Qatar.
Okay,
on Bahrain.
don't now, because we only have a minute and a little less than 2 minutes left. I apologize, but you've given us a good download. So the bottom line, though, is governments are generally being receptive to this argument.
Yes.
Generally.
In the last year, they have 3 years ago when I started talking with them and said this is going to happen, there was very little reception. But now many of them have started to say, yes, we want to cooperate with you. I'm advising 6 of them right now, working with them and trying to help them create the innovation ecosystem.
Okay. I know you've met a lot with young people, and you told me a few stories. When you say this thing about sex, which silences every room, obviously, sadly, better or for worse, whatever, what happens to the young, what do young people tell you when you do that? I mean, you said that sort of shocks even them, but then what?
They come and tell me, thank you for speaking for us. Because, you know, there is not freedom of expression that we have in here. And many religious leaders do not like to see sex outside marriage because when the things go through official channels, they perform the ceremonies and they collect money, and it's one of the ways that they can control their population by making them feel guilty that they're sinners if they have sex outside marriage. So there is a lot of pressure on the young people, and so many times when I have said this thing, afterwards, young men come to me, even young women, and come and say, thank you for speaking on our behalf, because we cannot discuss these issues openly. And they actually, first I said, we are shocked. You can openly talk about sex in our country, and nobody is putting you to jail and whatever. So,
Okay, unfortunately, we basically have to wrap, but I forget what I was going to ask you, but it was going to be funny. But anyway,
can I say something
you can
about
say something.
500 startups?
Yeah, please say something about your partners, but and I certainly say how people can help contribute to what you're doing too.
Sure. On 500 startups, we have about 150 people in this international venture capital fund, international accelerator. We have about 15 local funds and 4 global funds. 150 young people, half of them are women. And we have opened up offices in many of countries around the world. Recently, we have targeted Middle East, so we announced our first $30 million fund, opening with cooperation from Bahrain, Qatar government, and Oman government. We are right now working on a fund for Africa. We have these geeks on the plane that we put about 30 of you who are interested, take you to 4 stops in Africa in March. Come and join us. It will be a trip of your time, your life. You will meet so many entrepreneurs, would blow your mind. And we are also working on a fund for Central Asia, for Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, all of the stans, you know, Turkmenistan, Tatarstan, Uzbekistan, all of the ones which are still, some of them part of Soviet Union. It is something that we within high-tech have in our hands to go and have a positive impact, because to stop terrorism, to have effective foreign policy, we cannot kill them all. That strategy of killing the terrorists, killing their families, all of that is unconscionable. It doesn't work. For 16 years, we have bombed the hell out of Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. We have helped create, provide arms to many of these insurgencies. This is not the way that's going to work. It is empowering the young people to go and become masters of their own universe, create their own jobs. And it's first time that men and women have equal opportunity in there. And in so many of these countries, you see the percentage of women who are studying STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, is on par, or even in a country that would probably surprise you, in Iran, 55% of STEM students are women. This is amazing that in evolution of our species, first time men and women can work together side by side, create wealth, and remove the power from the hands of the old men who are dictators, who are in charge of all of the businesses all life.
Thank you. I wish you so much success. You know that I've already said I'm going to do whatever I can to help support this. I hope others in the room and those listening watching on video will feel the same way. I think it's a critical project, and I think the way, as you just said at the very end, you're shifting the argument about how we fight terrorism is absolutely urgent and essential, and this is the kind of audience that needs to understand that. So thank you.
Thank you, David.